So last week we cleaned up the majority of the simple, easy to reach walls, but this week we have a monster 2-story wall to tackle. So we first need to start by setting up some scaffolding.
One last ticket before it's gone. One last summer before it's fall. Tune your strings and play your cards. Either one hit me like a game of darts.
All right, so drop it in that guy.
Oh, okay. Oh boy.
I've never built scaffolding on stairs before. Come to think of it, I've never built scaffolding at all before. Technically, you should have a level out and all that good stuff. Why are you so nervous? So I've bought our local hardware store out of scaffolding pipes. They only sold them in, they sold them in very long chunks, but I couldn't fit in the car. These are 2-meter chunks, and then I cut them in half for the width cross braces. And it's a lot of work just to get up there and work on the wall, but this will come in handy for years to come. We have a lot of work to do to the ceiling, the underside of the ceiling. We have to insulate from the inside. We have to put new wood ceiling in, a lot of electrical work. So it's a weird thing to be excited about. It's a weird new toy. It's just pipes and clamps, but I like my new toy.
Obviously, when we took on this house as our project, we knew there were going to be so many different kinds of jobs that we would be doing, things that we've never done before. Specifically Bradey, because there's a lot that I haven't done that he has, but for him, this is kind of a new thing. But that's part of the fun, is learning new things along the way. And I don't know, it's kind of cool to see how this is going to come together and how it's going to work. Is it still a bit wobbly?
She wants me to admit to the fact that it's a lot harder to put up scaffolding than I thought it was. I don't want to, because we're already going to have people saying, you shouldn't be doing that. Hire the professionals. I don't want to hire the professionals. I'm stubborn like that. No, that's not true. We will be hiring professionals eventually. But I also want to learn new things. Like, there's no harm in learning new things. Except when...
Unless you fall off the scaffolding. That's it.
No, it's actually really hard to get it all square and straight, and I'm learning.
It's good. It's good.
Give me a couple hours.
Yeah, that's the thing. With you can learn things like how to build scaffolding in a couple hours.
No,
for me, it would take like months.
Everyone can learn how to build scaffolding in a couple of hours. Except for me. I'm gonna get it.
I believe in you.
No, I know technically how to do it, because I've watched a YouTube video. But in this is such a weird spot. Nothing's level, and it doesn't matter. I'm gonna make it work. Wait, hold that for me.
Yep. So this wall in particular is one that I am very, very excited about. This is actually the only wall in the house that is 2 stories tall. So it's gonna be a focal point in the house, and I'm so glad that we get to keep this wall uncovered. It's gonna be beautiful.
Oh, it's tied to the wall.
Oh.
Chloe's not allowed up here anymore.
While Bradey is finishing up the scaffolding in there, I wanted to come out and show you guys our garlic that's growing up. Even though it's been so snowy, we have these buds growing from our garlic, which is really exciting. This is the first thing that we've planted here on the property, and I don't actually know much about gardening. I think I've shared before. I just got some new books and things that I'm learning, and I really want to grow my gardening skill this year. But our first garlic is looking really good. So any tips for gardening, please send them my way. We also planted some tulips that are starting to pop up as well. I'm not very confident that those will do well because they're in full sun and it's a really, really rocky soil that we have there right now. I think we're gonna have to kind of dig some of that out and put some good soil in there. But they're still popping up, so we'll see how they do this year.
Well, that took more time than I will admit to on camera. Took me a while to learn how to do it, but I think we are solid and secure now. You ready to go?
Let's do it. I've been waiting for this moment.
For far too long.
For way too long. Let's go.
Are you climbing up there?
No. I'm working over here.
After all that work, she's not willing to climb up there. Probably because I'm the only one with life insurance. I don't know. No, it's very safe. Again, I watched a YouTube video.
Watch it, man. You got me.
Did I get you?
Yeah.
Well, there's a spot right here that you can get.
There.
So as you're pulling the mortar off, there'll be some small stones that fall out of the walls, because as they were pointing these walls, they would have stuck in small stones to fill in the large gaps. Well, those stones, of course, kind of fall out because they're not structural. They're not being held in by the weight of the wall, but then they will fall essentially 2 stories, which is why we went ahead and we put wood all along here to try to protect these stone steps, because they're just going to be pummeled with, oh, we need to protect this step better. They're going to be pummeled with small rocks. We don't want anything to be broken, obviously.
The house is falling apart.
So this wall does seem like it's a bit thicker. Like the original mortar seems to be a bit more preserved on this wall than the other wall. So it's a bit tougher to get all of it off, but I'm really excited to see what's underneath.
So,
I think this was actually one of the original exterior walls. Have we ever talked about this? I can't remember. So the house was built in phases. So the room we're in currently, I'm gonna get this wrong. I think this was the first stage. They built the room with the fireplace and then this upper area as well as the first stage, and then they built the barns at a later point. So this was an exterior wall, or it used to be an exterior wall. I don't know.
It would always be interior.
What?
It was always interior.
No, this was one of the exterior walls.
No, it's the interior of the exterior.
It's the interior of the exterior. This
But
was.
why would that be thicker then?
I don't
Never
know.
mind. Just ignore me. I'm losing it. I'm losing it over here. Sorry, go on. What were you saying?
It's the interior of the exterior wall. That's all. I just think it's fascinating.
I thought he was talking about this being like an exterior. I look so ridiculous. An exterior wall on the inside of the house. So I was very confused. I feel like
We need more sleep.
I feel like all of this.
The dust is getting.
Stop laughing. I don't even know what's funny anymore.
Get back to work.
Okay.
I think the kids are going to be embarrassed when we pick them up from school today. Looking like this.
Yes.
It's good for them.
Yeah.
It's good to be a little embarrassed.
So I just came outside to take a little bit of a break, and I've just been admiring our mountain view over here. It is just, the snow is so thick and beautiful after it snowed all that much. The snow is all melted here, obviously, but you can still see it at the top of the mountain, and oh my goodness, it's really beautiful.
There's something back here. What in... Heather! Look at this.
What is it? What? Okay, I've been terrified of what I'd find in these walls, like a mouse, like...
Hold on.
What
Look
is
at it in
that?
the light.
Is that a treasure map?
It's like a little...
Is there buried treasure in our house?
It almost looks like a rolled up piece of leather or something. What? I assumed we'd find some kind of cool stuff hidden in the walls. I don't know. I've done demolition for like old, like 100-year-old wood houses in the United States, and you always find stuff buried inside the walls, like newspaper clippings, like when you're building walls, people just stuff things in. But that looks old. Do you want to open it up?
Oh my goodness, yes. That is so...
What is it?
I don't know.
No, it's not leather.
It's soft. It's like a
it's
cloth.
fabric.
It's like fabric.
So you can see... Sorry, the camera's not focusing.
It has like little flowers on it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm nervous. What's in there? What is in there? I'm nervous.
I think it's like tobacco or something.
Oh
That's
my
what it looks like
gosh.
to me.
Okay.
Oh, there's a newspaper.
What's that? You're like, what is that? Okay.
Hold on, you hold this. You want to open it?
I'm nervous.
No, stop being nervous.
Oh my goodness.
There's got to be a date on there.
I know. Okay, what is in here? Matches.
Oh, come on. That's so anticlimactic.
Oh my goodness, but what kind of paper is this?
Oh, there's like prices and stuff on there? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell.
So it's probably actually not that old. The ink hasn't faded that much. There, we have some matches to light the fire now. It looks like a newspaper clipping of like the prices of different agricultural goods. Like maybe of like the price of corn.
That's really cool though.
I'll have to take it to someone that can read it. It is, it's a newspaper from this city. It's got the name of the city here, but nothing with a date on it or anything like that. But I'm guessing it was just like stuffed up there for somewhat easy access, but it was solidly behind a stone that I had to pry out. I was just digging out, cleaning it up, and just saw a little bit of fabric. I was like, that looks a little weird, but hey.
That's really cool.
I hope we find something cooler than that.
I do too.
Like,
not
there's gotta
a dead
be-
mouse. That's my fear.
Heather thinks she's going to find a mouse. I've actually surprisingly not seen any indication of any mice in here. I found, I think I got a clip on my phone. I found like some very clean hay stuffed between some stones, but it wasn't like a rodent lived in it. There was no other droppings or anything. It was just like this ball of clean hay stuffed in between the stones. It was very odd.
That was odd.
We'll keep that. That's kind of cool. It dawned on me that some people might be thinking that this is dangerous because we're pulling away the mortar holding the stones together. It's not really the case. It was dry stacked. The main stones are held together through gravity, but then they went through and they pointed, which means to put the mortar in between these stones, and then they rendered the walls in lime cement for aesthetics and other practical reasons, but not to actually hold those stones together. But in the process, they put some stones to dub out the walls that aren't structural. And those are what's going to ruin our floor. We have a beautiful stone staircase beneath this. And there's gonna be, I'm trying to take it out slowly. As we take the render off, there's going to be these large stones that, actually this one is broken just from weathering, that want to come off, and that would have ruined our steps.
Oh, that's a big.
Yeah, that's a shame. This stone just broke. So we're going to want to try to put that back together. So yeah, we'll number these and then stick them back together to bring the wall back out, because right now there's a large cavity. But you can get in here and just see, like, this is all clay. Like, that's what they held the stones together with, which is fascinating. So last week I was all excited about our power tools that were kind of ripping the mortar off the wall as quickly as possible. Well, the further I got into it, the more I realized that it's just a manual process. Nothing really beats a hammer and, surprisingly, a screwdriver. So you gotta use the screwdriver just to kind of get in there and scrape out the inside gunk. You can see the further you get in, the more you get into that clay. The lime is just right on the surface. But the goal is to get in there as deep as possible, scrape as much out as possible so that we can squish that new lime mortar deep into the stone so that it'll hold strong and last as long as possible. Here's a good example of, as you scrape out the mortar, you've got these little stones that just completely fall out. So I'm trying to save them just so that they don't accidentally fall down and break the stairs down below. But there's gonna be a lot of them, and I just fill them up in a bucket. And then when it's time to do the lime mortar, I'll just kind of take all these small stones and squish them back into the cracks.
Is this, I just did this, but is that going to be exposed? I know this wall can be exposed, but because it's a half, I think what are we doing
it's
with
definitely, this side's definitely gonna be exposed. I did that a couple days ago. Our bathroom will kind of start here.
I mean, can we have it like half exposed and then do drywall up?
We could.
That would be pretty.
We could start the wall on top of here.
On top, yeah.
And then this bottom area could be exposed. We're planning to put the shower back here. So I don't know if the shower area, leaving that exposed with the shower would be very tricky. We'd have to cover it in plexiglass or something. Mm-hmm. So probably not.
I'm like, this is making me rethink like our whole design for the bathroom, because I really want to keep this exposed. I know the toilet area will be like over here, so we can definitely have that exposed in the toilet area, right?
Yeah, so for now I would clean up half of the wall and just probably call it good, and we can decide later.
Okay.
But for the record, does anyone else know a wife this lovely to put up with not just this crazy adventure, but this nasty, grueling work? And she actually likes it.
I do.
I'm sorry, but you're weird.
I am. That's why you married me.
Can you take this rock?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We've turned this into a proper maze to get through. And man, that is a lot of mortar. Look at this. Every step, oh, my shadow. Every step is just like, that's crazy. That will not be fun to clean up. This entryway, especially when it's finished, is just gonna be so nice. Like, look right here. We're gonna have a very large opening that leads into the kitchen, but then all of this will be completely exposed and pointed. And both from this perspective, looking into the kitchen. It's going to have a very open feel to it. We're going to have a beautiful wood beam running across there. But then looking up, as well as this perspective up here, looking down as you turn the corner, and you'll see just floor to ceiling, beautiful stone walls. It's gonna be so nice. And then we'll have a metal hand railing that I'm considering welding, but that is definitely outside of my skill set. Something to learn. So this is a little awkward to talk about, but we just had a huge honor. And I mean, we make these videos to kind of remember our lives, and it's a good thing to commemorate. And we just were asked to be on just a really awesome podcast. This is actually a podcast that I was listening to years ago, like 3 years ago,
And
whenever.
actually inspired.
It inspired us
Yeah.
to start our YouTube journey. And not really inspired, it more gave me the confidence to
move forward.
because there was so much fear of just putting yourself out there and failing publicly, and all of these things, imposter syndrome that we still battle with all the time. And I don't know. And I think that this podcast, we listened to it for so long. The whole theme is to live aggressively, to get out there, take initiative, take charge of your life, not be afraid of failure, and go out and aggressively make mistakes and build a life. And it really kind of pushed me forward she was ready to go all along. I was the one that was kind of being held back.
Which I think is funny, because I think a lot of
Usually
people
it's the
don't know
opposite.
that. Like, they think I'm more timid and would assume that you are like leading
Yeah.
me on this journey, and I don't really want to be here, and that's not the case
she-
at all.
She drugged me along. No, but then 2 or 3 years later, out of the blue, the same podcast sent us an email and said, we want you to be on the show and talk about your life. And I was like, what? Like, did you make a mistake? Like, is there some kind of scheduling error? Like, past guests are like Matthew McConaughey and Kathy Lee Gifford. Like, we have no business being on this podcast. So it was just a massive honor. It was terrifying. We were
It
we
was
were
definitely
so nervous. Like,
yeah, it was scary.
so we recently recorded the podcast, and we were just, I don't know, sweating. Like, when it was finished, we were like, it was so, I don't know.
We've never done anything like that before, so we're obviously like in kind of complete control of our videos and things like
Yeah.
that. So it was a very different experience.
Sometimes I mean, if you're feeling nervous, you might say something stupid, but we have the ability to take that out.
Yeah.
We don't have that ability here. So I actually haven't listened to it yet. It is,
I'm nervous.
It came out this morning, the morning that we're recording this. So by the time this video goes live in a couple of days, like it's out. We'll leave a link in the description, but I haven't actually listened to it yet. So I hope
We better listen to it, and I'll decide if I want to keep this part in or not.
I hope I'm not embarrassed. I don't know. I just wanted to kind of commemorate that and remember it. And it's such an awkward thing to talk about. But the podcast is called The Aggressive Life. I really recommend it. And I'll leave a link to the episode. Well, we should listen to it first and make sure we like
That's
it.
what I'm saying, yeah. I don't know.
We'll
see.
Yeah.
Look at the stairs. Why did they put metal things like that?
What do you girls think?
It's nuts.
You want to try to crawl up the ladder up there?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Careful.
I can cross this.
If there's no stairs left.
Like a mountain.
I made it.
Yeah. Just careful you don't hit your head on the scaffolding, okay?
What are you doing?
Chloe needs a hard hat.
Wow.
Do you like it?
Did you do all this while we were gone?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
you
you're at
guys-
school.
We missed all this fun.
See what happens when you're at school? We can get some work done.
And we haven't even
that's a lot of cobwebs.
Where did that come from?
The cobwebs have always been there. It's just the dust that clings to it, and now you can actually see them.
I wish.
Spooky. We need that for Halloween.
Hey, Chloe, look at the wall behind you. It's a pretty big difference from what it was.
Can you tell? Remember, it was all covered.
Looking at me and Alexa's room because I've been really wanting.
You can go look at it.
You can go look in there. There's not as much that needs to be done in there.
No.
You're doing good, Chloe. So it is Sunday, and we decided that we would bring the girls over today. Bradey is trying to get some work done here at the house. Sorry, I'm out of breath because I just climbed up a bunch of terraces. But now I'm gonna go down to where the kids are. They're just having so much fun playing. And there's a bunch of wildflowers popping up down there. And I wanted to show you. And I'm so excited to see what that area is gonna look like as spring continues to come. It's gonna be really, really nice. Oh, I think I can't see. Oh, thank you.
So this one is mine. It's the second biggest, and I think Daddy planted this one. Lex, which one did you plant?
I have no idea. Actually, something weird happened when we were playing down there. We saw some wild tulips growing.
Ooh, that's cool.
Oh, it's because the bees, they go into the pollen, and they brought all the pollen and put it in the ground. Did those ones?
And they're just as big as that one over there.
Wow.
Not like super big, but
We should give them some water.
Okay.
I just got a bucket full of water.
luckily my shoes are waterproof.
The biggest one needs the most water because it's so big. Needs so much water because it's so big.
You a little dirty there?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah! No. Open it.
This week we are doing the science expedition
Woo!
of Little
I
Passport.
love science.
We're gonna learn about solar energy.
Cool!
Okay,
That's what we did a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so you guys get to do your own solar energy project.
You better hurry up because the sun's setting.
Oh, we might have to come back and do this tomorrow.
Alexa, tell me what you're building this month.
Electric car.
So this month we have the science expedition for Little Passports that the girls are working on. I've decided to let Bradey step in and take over because this month they are learning about solar energy and going to build a solar powered car. So I figured he has a little bit more expertise in this department than I do, so I thought that they would have fun doing that together. We love Little Passport so much. It is so fun and educational for the girls. It's a great way to supplement their education. So if you do want to check out Little Passports, you can use our link in the description below and you can get 20% off site-wide.
This is going to be hard for me because it's their craft, yet this is too cool. They're literally building an electric car powered by a solar panel, which we're going to build it today and use it tomorrow because the sun is setting. But look at this, 4 wheels, a solar panel, a motor, and all the parts to build a full functioning car.
Awesome.
So I still remember 25 years later building a Pinewood Derby Matchbox car with my dad, and somehow that just left an impression on me. But this is taking things to the next level of building a solar powered car out of a motor, some wheels, a solar panel, and some cardboard, which is just super cool. And to think that it was just a couple weeks ago that we put our own solar panels and we're so excited to have an electric car, but you girls get the first electric car of the family.
Because we're the coolest.
It's really cool to see the things the girls are learning on our property come full circle. They were so excited to learn more about solar energy and had so much fun building the solar-powered car with Bradey. Memories I am sure they will cherish forever. As always, thanks so much for spending part of your day with us. We appreciate it more than you know. And we'll see you next week.